What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going full send on the SQ5. And what do I mean by that? Well, in this box from FCP Euro we have some OEM parts that are not supposed to go on this car that we're going to be installing. And then we also have this little tiny guy from Integrated Engineering. That's a high pressure fuel pump rod that is going to upgrade our fuel flow. And then finally, we're installing the proper sized inlet. This is a turbo inlet adapter for a pure 750. Right now I have the stock turbo one on there, so it's a little bit bigger. All these things combined, plus some ethanol, we should be making some real sauce on SQ5, and we should be going real fast at the track, hopefully on Sunday. Now, if you don't know about FCP Euro 1, I work there, so make sure to check them out because I work there and they keep the lights on at my house. But 2, FCP Euro, well known for their customer service. In fact, we just won an award for our customer service. If you didn't know that, now you do. We won an award for how great the people in the customer service department is. So shout out to my homies over there. We also have a lifetime replacement guarantee on every part that we sell, and we have hassle-free returns. So all those things combined to say that when you shop with FCP Euro, you get a hassle-free experience, a wonderful European car part, and ultimately, you're backed up by the company for the lifetime of your ownership of the vehicle. So what is in here, you'll ask? Well, let's pop it open and find out. It's always a good day when you get a box with some blue tape on it. And if you haven't gotten a box with blue tape on it yet, FCPeuro.com, check it out, order from them. This box will bring you happiness. Did I mention lifetime replacement guarantee? What is in this fine FCP Euro box, you might ask yourself? Well, if you know anything about upgrading these cars, you know that they run out of injector and they run out of map sensor. Luckily, my homie Aaron, big shout out Aaron, he runs the Audi catalog at FCP Euro, understands the need for OEM Plus upgrades. And so I hit Aaron up and I said, Aaron, B9 guys are upgrading their injectors and they're upgrading their map sensors. We need to get these products on the site. Aaron said, say no more, I got you. So, these are stuck together. But what this is, open. Oh, I was opening it the wrong way. What this is a fuel injector. What's cool about this fuel injector is this is out of a B9 RS5. These are upgraded fuel injectors. They flow a little bit more than what comes in stock in the B9, S4, S5, and SQ5. And Aaron said, you know what? Let's go ahead and get them on the site. This isn't a part that we're necessarily going to sell to RS5 owners and 4OT owners, but for the B9 guys who want the upgrade and the lifetime replacement guarantee, we got you covered. There is a little bit of a lead time on these. I believe it's a 7-day lead right now. Then we get to the map sensors. I thought I was going to have to buy from TTE, but the homie Casey in the B9, S4, S5, SQ5 owners group said, hey, check out the upgraded map sensors. Here's the part number. You just have to do a little bit of modification on one of them. So we're going to do that today. And this represents a cost savings over the TTE ones. You just do a minor modification with the Dremel. I get a big shout out to FCP Euro, especially the homies in the catalog department who are always on the hunt for the best parts at the best prices for your car. And Aaron, even though I found this one, he's always at work finding good OEM Plus upgrades. Jay, this is actually going to the VW catalog, so big shout out Jay over there as well, and everybody else in the catalog department. I appreciate those homies. Let's jump into the install. I feel like we literally just did this. That's because we did, but here we go again. Worth noting that my car has been sitting for 24 hours plus. If yours has not been sitting for 24 hours plus, you may find significantly more fuel and more pressure in there. Just be careful taking that off. There's a little clip back here I can't get on camera, but you pull up and then, different from normal stuff, you actually pinch the top of the thing for the clip to come off. But this is a 17, this is a 21. Oh, well, that came right off. All right, one more hard line on the back. It's a 14 mil, and then we're ready to pull this guy out. One thing to note with these is there's 2 bolts. You don't want to just undo one and then undo the other. It's nice to go a little bit at a time. On my Mark V, I stripped one of the bolts that holds down the high pressure fuel pump. Luckily, that had 3. This has 2. If you strip one of these, you are in big trouble. So be smart, be careful, and take your time. Basically, I pulled back on this with a flathead, and just a little bit of leverage underneath the fuel pump to get it pop up a tiny bit. You just pull back on this hard line and the fuel pump will pop right out. Now we get to do the fun part, which I'm really scared of. This is the what I would guess is called like piston lock removal tool. This one is a really nice tool because it doesn't take an adapter. You stick the 1/4-inch socket, or sorry, you stick a 1/2-inch socket right in the top, 1/2-inch ratchet right in the top, slides right down over everything. And I've heard that people are buying these tools from other companies and then they're calling IE and saying, hey, can I get yours instead? I don't want the high pressure fuel pump to come flying out of me. There we go. Whew, this part is scary. These high pressure fuel pumps are expensive. I called Billy. Billy's got the big vise. There we go. And we're using this valve seating tool. I got this whole kit off of Amazon for $17. That will allow us to push the piston down and slide these 2 little metal shims inside above the piston to hold it in place. What's the verdict?
That's what's up.
That's science, Billy. How does it feel to be a surgical doctor?
I feel great.
The things you can do when you have a Billy. Well, I had about a 35, 40-minute time lapse going. It was gonna look great. You were gonna see every step. I was gonna voice over it. I go back to check on the camera and the camera is completely dead. Camera died, so we're on the iPhone now. Ignition coil's out. Next is the fuel line here. Undid this. This is a 17, and then I'm gonna undo this brass fitting. This is a 19, so that I can get the last T30 Torx on the fuel rail. You can see it's out everywhere else. Pretty easy to get to. Needed a wobble to get down there, but other than that, everything's coming out. So once we have that T30 out, the fuel rail should just pop out, fingers crossed. What nobody mentions is that obviously the injectors have this like rubber seal on the top of them. That takes some force to get off. So the fuel rail came flying back at me. I was really like pulling on I had my finger in the edge and I was pulling on it like that. And then all of a sudden it just came shooting at me. That's out. Now I gotta figure out how to get the injectors out, which they say is just a clip harness, but I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Then I gotta swap that over to new ones and toss it in, and then we get to repeat the process on the much more crowded passenger side. It's the next night. Powan's here for emotional support. Remember last night I said I couldn't bother Powan every single night? Well, I bothered him tonight. He's working on the M3. I'm working on this. And we have this side all back together. Now, it did involve a very sketchy trip to Billy's shop to figure out the high-pressure fuel pump piston. The injectors are very difficult to get out without the proper tool. Luckily, we have this injector puller tool, which is basically a slide hammer. It works really well. And guess what? Powan, how much does this injector puller tool cost?
$100.
Guess what else? If you go to certain store that is a competitor to FCP Euro, so I shouldn't say it in the video, but AutoZone, they'll rent you the tool for $100, and if you return the tool, it's free. So worth noting that FCP Euro does have the injector puller tool on site. If you plan on doing a lot of them, you can buy it, or you can rent it for a $100 deposit and send it back. Don't tell FCP Euro I said that AZ word. Shh, don't tell him. Anyway, now we get started on this side. I've had my battery disconnected since last night. I'm gonna pull the ECU, and I'm also gonna pull the ECU tray, and we are gonna go this way to get at this stuff. And this side is going to be significantly less fun than that side. So you'll watch me struggle, but if we get these 3 injectors done, all we have to do is trim the map sensors and we're in business. Documenting this both for you guys and for me. I'm gonna unplug the ECU. There's 5 ports, 2 that go down, 3 that go up, and I really don't wanna mix these up. So the top one's getting marked with a black zip tie, middle one has no marking, bottom one has pink, and then for the bottom 2, the top one has pink, and the bottom one has nothing. Also, the ECU just clips in. You can literally just flop it around. All right, well, definitely disconnect your ECU, as sketchy as it is, because this is the entire wiring harness for this side of the engine, including the power to the ECU, and it's just wide open in there. So now we can get in there, undo the coil packs, then we'll undo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we gotta undo this fuel line, and the fuel rail should pop right off. Then we get in there with the slide hammer, then we put it all back together. All right, here's the strategy before I get high as a kite off of gasoline. Pull the retainer clip off, put it to the side, and don't forget to put it on the new one. Then we're gonna get our slide hammer, from the store that shall not be named. Okay, so we're seated underneath the injector. Now we just go ahead and thread this guy in. Okay, here we go. And the injector comes out, and you smash your fingers. But now the injector, as you probably couldn't see, comes completely out, and we can replace it with a new one. All right, well, Pound and I test fit the sensors thinking that we would have to modify them. Can you click that in? I got one hand. There we go. We got a significant amount of threads on this one, which is the one that everybody has to modify without modifying it.
You got like 4. Right?
I got like a solid 4 turns, yeah. And this clicked right in, no problem. I mean, I honestly thought we were gonna have to test fit them and then pull them back out, and I'd film the video and do whatever, but this is a 1.4T VW map sensor, and it's in.
And even if it does come loose, the accessibility is really nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there. So worst comes to worst, we find a longer bolt with the same thread pitch. I don't understand why people are shaving down their sensors when they could just put a longer bolt.
I mean, it's like I said,
there.
I think there's just extra safety when you have, the more threads you have, like, it's just more
right. But this has an O-ring holding it in too. I don't know. Anyway, let's get the tune fired up. My freaking heart is racing after how poorly the turbo install went with all the oil going everywhere. I've been dreading this start. We were up till 1 a.m. last night putting the car together. Today we're gonna mobile flash the tune, and then we're going from there. And I forgot my camera. I literally am all over the place. I'm so anxious about starting this car. I can't even describe it. So let's jump in, we'll flash the tune, and we'll go from there. So you come down here to the IE flash module, and you're just gonna press the Bluetooth button. Oh. Drive system malfunction. I think it's throwing a code for the 4 bars. It doesn't seem happy with them. So we'll see if we can fix that. Either that or it's from me unplugging the ECU and I'm screwed. So if you've never done the mobile flashing process before, it's actually really straightforward. Basically what it is, you connect the dongle like I said, and you get this cool screen that's almost like an access port. When you go to tune the car itself, you have to select these options, make sure that you're doing well, and then right here you saw we selected the 93 octane injectors file that then flashes. Now I sped up the flash process here, but this whole flash took 52 seconds. Really straightforward, really awesome product for integrated engineering. Can't wait to use the mobile flashing feature more in the future. All right, I don't normally film these because I'm worried I'm gonna jinx it, but here we go. Here we are about a week later and 300 or so miles on the car, and everything is going well so far. This install overall actually wasn't that difficult. As long as you can be creative with some of the pins and you feel comfortable unplugging your ECU, which is really just unplugging the battery, making sure there's no voltage, and then plugging it back in before you connect your battery, I would say this install is actually probably easier than the turbo install. As long as you have the right tools, etc. Again, these 4-bar map sensors, super easy to install. They just popped right in. Again, that's a VW part. Hidden inside of there are the RS5 injectors, and both of those are OEM Plus upgrades from FCP Euro. When you combine that with the fuel pump, which is hidden back there from Integrated Engineering, you got yourselves a solid package. So we're going to run this car at the track. We're going to put on ethanol. We'll see what it does. I think there is some boost leak somewhere in here because the car is not making quite the boost it's supposed to be making. Regardless, we're going to take it to the track, and then we'll see what happens from there. But overall, a great install, and one of the upcoming videos, I'm going to have to detail this engine bay because that is embarrassing. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Huge shout out to FCP Euro Integrated Engineering for sponsoring the video, hooking it up with the parts, and getting my car running right. As always, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll leave the links to the FCP Euro parts in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go out there and spread some positivity, and I'll catch you guys in the next video where we're going racing.